Hi boys and girls, welcome back to our cartoon self-portraits. We are about to start on part 2. We're going to outline and color these today. So I have my trusty Sharpie marker and my Crayola markers. You can use whatever markers you have at home. You should have gotten a Sharpie with your materials packet if you came and picked that up, along with your paper and your watercolors. We won't be using watercolors today. But we will be needing your Sharpies. So you should have drawn your cartoon self-portrait. Remember, we did the big, large head. You should have it on a white 9x12 piece of paper that you got in your materials pack. If you do not have your pencil drawing on a white paper, I highly suggest that you go back and you do your pencil drawing on white paper if you've not done that. So to start outlining, we're going to start at the top. And you are just going to carefully take that Sharpie marker. It should work. They're brand new, so you should have a nice crisp black line. And you are going to just go over all of the good pencil lines. If you have mistakes and things, we can go back and erase those as we need to. So I'm going to speed up the process here, so I'm going to continue outlining and you can watch me work. Okay, we are done. A couple pointers about outlining. When you have a big long line like that, you need to take a break. You want to make sure that you pick up right where you left off and keep that line moving smoothly. You don't want to do a lot of little tiny lines because then it starts to look like you're making hair, and that's not really a good look, especially along the edge of your face like that. You want it to be a nice smooth line. Whoops, I forgot my background line here. That's called a horizon line. It separates the ground from the sky or the wall behind you. So that's important to have so it looks like you're standing on ground, not just kind of floating in midair. Okay, so once you have this, you're going to take an eraser and you can go back through and kind of clean up some of these pencil lines. So I'm going to do that next. I'm going to just kind of clean up some of these last little areas by the hair, around the eyes. It gives it a nice finished look. Now, we are ready to start adding color. I'm going to show you the secret to keeping your markers looking like they are brand new. So you see how the marker has that tip to it. It's got a pointy end, which draws a very thin line, but if you tilt it sideways, it has sort of that cone shape. And we're going to be using that flat edge here that you see. And when you hold it sort of at that angle and you pull, you get a nice thick line. And all I'm doing is just pulling, and I'm sort of overlapping as I go. So I'm not getting any white of the paper showing. And if I miss a little, I can go back and fill it in. And I'm keeping my marker lines going all in the same direction. So they're all kind of going at this angle. So it fills it in and it looks super, super clean and neat. The way you use your markers is a big part of what's called craftsmanship, how you use the materials. So craftsmanship is important because you took all that time last week to draw your cartoon. We outlined it, and now if you were to scribble all over the top of it, you're just kind of saying, you know what I did last week, it's not really important. We want to color it as importantly as we took the time to draw it. So I am going to go slow and careful filling this in. So I am going to finish doing my skin and I will be right back. So even though I see some of the lines, because they're all going in that same direction, and you can go up and down, you could go side to side, whatever's most comfortable for you. Oops, I almost forgot my neck. So you're gonna go whichever way is most comfortable for you, but keep it consistent. You don't wanna go this way and then switch this way and switch back that way. All right, so now I am going to go back in, and the next part is going to be my hair. Now again, this could be funny colors if you wanted to do colorful hair, but the same way I did the skin, I'm going to follow along the edge. And remember when I said we are drawing our hair in shape instead of just using your pencil and scribbling back and forth? This is exactly the reason why, because I need that shape to fill in the color. And this is kind of nice. I'm going the direction that the hair is flowing, because this way it looks more like real hair. In other words, if my hair is long and it's hanging down, I don't want to color sideways. I want to color the direction that the hair would be going. So when I get these little areas that are not quite as dark, it kind of looks like highlights or the way that my hair is combed. All right, let's finish this part here. Then I can start doing the details of my clothes, my eyes, oh, I forgot my ear. Always forget those poor little ears. Okay, I will meet you back here when this is all finished and colored. And finally, you know what? I'm going to do the gray here on the paintbrush, only because my hair is brown, and if I did the hair of the paintbrush brown, it might get lost. Which brings us to doing our background. So you might say, oh, I'm finished, I colored. Well, you still have to address what is happening in the background. Now, you can just do a solid color. You would have to do it how we did this and go in. You could do sort of rainbow stripes of color. One of the other simple things is if you don't want to do a whole entire background, you can do something like maybe perhaps a pattern that goes behind you, but you want to address that background, because if you don't, it will look as if your drawing is unfinished. Now you can leave just the pattern behind you, sort of like I'm doing with the purple zigzag. You could end up coloring in between the zigzags, so you don't have those big giant areas to fill in. Obviously that will take a lot longer, so it depends on how quick you work, how much time you want to put into your background. One word about color choice is if you have brown hair, the peach skin, you don't want to do the same color touching the background, because again, same thing that would happen here is it would start to blend into that background, and we want this to stand out from what's behind the figure. I'm going to finish off by doing the ground, and then we will be done. Ta-da! I'm pretty happy with things. I may go back in and do maybe a few colors, maybe a pattern in the background just to finish this background off. I feel like for me it looks unfinished. This is perfectly fine as is if you like it that way. But I do want to see good marker technique. I don't want to see a lot of scribbles in different directions. So again, just take your time and go slowly and carefully and make that marker just look fantastic on here. The better you do it, the better your cartoon is going to look.